Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, October 14th, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Hurricane Nicole, the biggest storm to strike Bermuda since Hurricane Fabian in 2003, tore across Bermuda yesterday. Roofs were ripped off buildings, roads and homes flooded, walls and roads collapsed, and trees felled. But by the end of the day, the island was counting its blessings. The causeway suffered minimal damage to its walls and road surface and was reopened at 10 p.m. last night. The international airport is being assessed today for damage. According to the Premier, Michael Dunkley, we can breathe a sigh of relief. It could have been much worse. Wind gusts of more than 120 miles per hour were recorded. The storm hit Bermuda as a Category 3 storm. At one point, about 27,000 Bermuda power customers were without electricity. The tone of the impending weather forecast had been particularly ominous, with Category 4 predictions leveled, indicating that Bermuda could suffer a 7 to 10 hour experience as the storm pounded the island, but fortunately it was not as bad as predicted. And if you're in the reinsurance industry, you know that it was impossible to reach anybody in Bermuda yesterday. They were all at home. We're getting some additional estimates as to what the losses to Samsung could be for the recall of the Galaxy Note 7 phone. There had been some speculation in the insurance trade press that losses would be about $2.3 billion. Apparently, none of that is insured. However, now, according to analysts at Credit Suisse Group, Samsung could lose up to $17 billion from the fiasco. It's noted that Samsung is not in any danger. The company has a market cap of about $235 billion and cash reserves of $70 billion. Verizon Communications said that there is a reasonable basis for Verizon to believe that the recently unveiled news of a hack of at least 500 million Yahoo email accounts has a material impact, legal term, and could affect its planned $4.8 billion acquisition of the technology firm. A Verizon lawyer said, "I think we have a reasonable basis to believe right now that the impact is material, and we're looking at Yahoo to demonstrate to us the full impact. If they believe that it's not a material impact, then they have to show us that." Some observers took this as a sign that Verizon could decide to try to get out of the deal. The Yahoo acquisition agreement includes a clause allowing Verizon to withdraw in the case of an event that, quote, reasonably can be expected to have a material adverse effect on the business. Yahoo disclosed the 2014 data breach last month, saying that it had learned about it this summer and that it had compromised up to 500 million users' names, email addresses, phone numbers, dates of birth, and encrypted password. That could pretty easily be construed as a material impact. Hurricane Matthew, of course, has made a lot of news with about 400 deaths in Haiti. One thing that has begun to leave the news, but inappropriately, is the fact that about 22 people so far have been killed in flooding in North Carolina. North Carolina has been socked. The situation there is still quite grim. It had been set up almost perfectly in September before the arrival of Matthew. Eastern North Carolina, where most of the flooding is occurring, had received 15 to 20 inches of rain, up to 300% above normal, already leaving the ground saturated and the river levels very high. Then came Matthew, dumping about 15 inches of rain along the I-95 corridor. The result is that river crest levels have broken previous records set by Hurricane Floyd in 1999. The situation is still quite grim. A number of rivers in North Carolina are not expected to crest until today or tomorrow. Fortunately, no rain is scheduled. Thousands of people are homeless. The National Guard is present, and rivers continue to rise. A fierce windstorm caused many living on Vancouver Island, where Victoria, the city of Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, is located, to go much of last night without electricity. At about 2:30 a.m. Pacific time, about 13,000 customers were without power. This is because of a large storm with up to 80-mile-per-hour winds that pummeled the island, knocking over trees, which then knocked over electric cables. A larger storm and more powerful is expected to arrive tomorrow, when the remnants of Super Typhoon Sangda arrive, setting the stage for even more potentially damaging winds and more power outages. There's also a budding typhoon that threatens to blast Luzon Island in the Philippines with flooding, rain, and damaging winds this weekend before taking aim at southern China and northern Vietnam. This would be Tropical Storm Sarika. It's known as Karen in the Philippines. It's expected to track very close to the Bicol region of Luzon tonight and into Saturday. It's going to strengthen into a Category 1 storm and possibly into a Category 2 storm. It will bypass Manila supposedly, but dumping 6 inches of rain there, and then move into the South China Sea, where it's expected to intensify over the warm waters. It will then hit southeastern Asia. Well, yesterday there was yet another computer glitch that plagued an international airline. Thus far, we've seen Delta, Southwest, British Airlines, and United Airlines several times. Yesterday again, it was United Airlines' turn one more time. Thousands of passengers were delayed worldwide after a glitch, initially with a luggage weighing system, temporarily halted departures at a number of airports. The airline said that the problem had been resolved at 3 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. In the United States, there are 25 days until the presidential election. Thank goodness. That's the news for today. Have a good weekend. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you Monday.